Hello and welcome to Mathssteps. Today we are going to learn how to find the midpoint of a line. Here I have produced the steps on how to find the midpoint of a line. So to find the x coordinates, you add the x of the beginning of the line with the x of the end of the line, divide by 2, and we do the same thing with the y's. Right, so let's have a look at this example here. We have the coordinates of the beginning of the point is 1, 1, and the coordinates of the end of the point is 5, 5. We need to find the coordinates of the middle point, which I'm going to call it as middle point, so MP, right? Now, before I begin, I'm going to label the coordinates of the beginning of the point as x1, y1, and the same thing with this one. This one is going to be, of course, x2, y2, just like that, right? And now I'm going to add both x's, divide by 2, to find the x of the midpoint. So there you go. We have, for the x of the midpoint, I'm going to do x1 plus x2 divided by 2. So 1 plus 5 divided by 2 equals 6 divided by 2 equals 3. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the y's. So y of the midpoint is going to be y1 plus y2 divided by 2 equals, again, is 1 plus 5. Same as the first one this time, so divided by 2, and the answer is going to be 3. And here we go, we label the coordinates of the middle of the point as 3, 3. There you go. Let's have a look at this example here. Again, we have the coordinates of the beginning of the point and end of the point. We need to find the coordinates of the midpoint. We apply exactly the same formula, adding x and y. So x1, y1 for the beginning of the point, x2, y2 for the end of the point. Right, so we have for the x of the midpoint, which is this one here, midpoint, x of the midpoint is going to be 0 plus 6 divided by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. There we go, 3. Right? And for the y of the midpoint, we're going to have minus 2. So y1 plus y2. So minus 2 plus minus 3. So minus 2 plus minus 3 divided by 2. Minus 2 plus minus 3 is minus 5, so divided by 2, the answer is going to be minus 2.5. Minus 2.5. Make sure you label the coordinates of the middle of the point on the graphs. Next one. Now, in this case, we have the coordinates of the beginning of the point. So we have x1, y1. We have the coordinates of the midpoint. So we have the x midpoint, right, and the y midpoint. So what do we need? We need the x2, y2. We don't know this one, all right? Now, if we look at the first formula we applied to find the midpoint, for the x of the endpoint, we said x1 plus x2 divided by 2 equals x of the midpoint, all right? Now, which one is missing? Is this one here, the x2. So let's make x2 the subject of the formula. We need to get rid of the denominator, which is 2, by multiplying, of course. Get rid of the denominator, you multiply both sides by 2, all right? So cancel them out, and then we'll have x1 plus x2 equals 2x of the midpoint, right? So x2, this is the one you need, so x2 is going to be 2x of the midpoint minus x1, right? 2x of the midpoint minus x1. So if you substitute, x2 is going to be 2x of the midpoint, so 2 times minus 5 is minus 10, minus 2x of the midpoint, so 2 times minus 3, this one here, let me cross this one out then. So it's going to be, right, x2 is going to be 2x of the midpoint, so 2 times minus 3, right? Minus x1, and in this case is minus 5. So it's going to be minus 5. There you go. x2 is going to be minus 6 minus 5 is plus 5, plus 5, so equals minus 1. So x2 is minus 1, right? Let's find the y2. y2, the formula, of course, is similar to this one. So y2 is going to be, so if x2 is 2x MP, midpoint minus x1, and then the y2 is going to be 2y midpoint minus, instead of x1, we put y1. Let's substitute. So y2 is going to be 2y midpoint. Y of the midpoint is 3. So 2 times 3, let's put 6 straight away, minus y1, minus 1, and the answer is going to be 5. So the coordinates of the end of the point are going to be minus 1 and 5. Go and label it. So the end point are the end point. We put it here as well, and then we check on the graph. Does it make sense? Yeah, minus 1 and 5. So this is the strategy you follow. Right, how about if we have the midpoint here, and we have the end point, as you see, and we need to find the beginning of the point. You know, the strategy is going to be exactly the same as the ones with finding the coordinates of the end point. So it is going to be, again, we need the x, so we start with the formula of the finding, so x1 plus x2 divided by 2 equals x of the midpoint. This is the formula that you have to remember. So we need to make the x1 subject of the formula, so it's going to be this one here, right? So I can do this straight away, we can do this straight away. It's similar to the one with the x2. So x1 is going to be 2x midpoint minus x2. So x1 is going to be 2x midpoint. So this is the x of the midpoint and the y of the midpoint, and this is x2 and the y2. So 2x midpoint is minus 3, so 2 times minus 3, okay, minus x2. How much is x2? Is 0, so minus 0. And that is going to be minus 6. Go, so coordinate of the beginning of the point is, so the x is minus 6. Let's find the y. So formula is exactly the same, but instead of x1, we put y1 equals 2y midpoint minus y2. So y1 equals 2y midpoint. How much is y midpoint? Is minus 3.5. So 2 times, open bracket, minus 3.5. Close the bracket, minus y2. y2, it is minus 4, so it's minus 4. So here, we need to pay a little bit of attention because we are dealing with negative numbers. So, okay, y1 equals 2 times minus 3.5 is minus 7, right? Now, minus 4 is plus 4. Minus 7 plus 4 equals minus 3. Minus 3. So, can you see now? x1 is minus 6, and y1 is minus 3. So minus 6 and minus 3, just like that, right? So see, by knowing how we calculate the coordinates of the midpoints, we can rearrange the formula to be able to find the coordinates of the beginning of the point or the coordinates of the end point. Right, let's have a look here. This is your independent work. It says find the midpoint of the line between these 2 points, 1, 6 and 5, 9. So you're going to apply here and substitute the first formula, x1 plus x2 divided by 2. Remember to label the coordinates of the beginning of the point as x1 and y1, and the second one is going to be x2 and y2. It's just to make the work much clearer and not complicated. And this one here is going to be the midpoint, right? So add both x's, divide by 2, add both y's, divide by 2, to find the new coordinates of the midpoint. Be careful in case you deal with negative numbers. For example, if you have exercises, class, or homework, be careful with negative numbers, right? And the next one is this one here. Here you need to find the coordinates of the beginning of the line when you have the middle and the end. Here you have to do a little bit of rearrangement. So you need to make the x1 and the y1 subject of the formula twice. And here, yeah, this is the end. So yeah, thank you very much for supporting Mathssteps. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.